Well, guys, I thought I'd share with you what I observed happen last night. I actually didn't see it happen. I saw the aftermath of it. The dog was going crazy. I was sitting on the couch watching reruns, the old school Star Trek, and there's a car sitting out in the yard here. We're out on the edge of the road with the four-ways on, so I go out to see what's going on. Maybe somebody broke down. You can see I hit my fence. Now, it doesn't look that bad here. We're going to look at more though. Issue is, this is where it started and the road's that way, so the guy was coming this way, so he came across the road here and hit the fence and somehow managed to not hit that pole and start going down the fence line. That's a completely straight road. It just doesn't make any sense at all, other than he either fell asleep or he was drunk off his ass, and I think it might have been both. He had to be flying, and I'll show you why. So he hits the fence here, and there is no fence. You can see that's one of the poles that tell. I had a fence, and I also had 2-strand barbed wire across the top of it. That pole right there wasn't for the fence, it was for the barbed wire. And flying through here, there's the top rail of the fence right there, but he went right through here. You can see where he completely ran over that little tree right there. And I guess he ended up stuck in this ditch, and it's what saved him from hitting that pole. God knows what else. And so he kept going. Yeah, this is a problem for a guy that owns 3 dogs. And he kept going. And another piece of the fence, and there's pieces of the fence all the way back there. I'm not even sure where all the chain link ended up. At the beginning, the chain link is like still anchored in the ground. I guess it all got drug here. What do you see what happened next? Here he plowed over that tree. And this is where my big entry gate is, or was. I mean, he took out my whole entry gate. Well, not the gate. So that fence used to come in like this. And took that out. This kind of shows you what it was like on the other side. That's still there, sort of. Gate didn't get touched. Still works. I guess here is where he kind of started to come in a little bit more. Plowed through that second side of the gate, took that out, ripped through here. I'm in Crocs right now, so I'm trying to just be careful where I step. Just obliterated, pulled the poles that were concreted into the ground out of the ground. This is where it's really a mess. Posts sticking up everywhere. I mean, this guy never slowed down is the thing. That's what makes me think that even if he was drunk, he may have also been asleep at the wheel. He did seem okay. I'm not sure if the cops took him home just because he fell asleep or took him to jail. He did not get in the ambulance. The ambulance left without him. Flew out here. And this is where you realize, after all that, you look at the impact of that tree. This guy never slowed down. He slowed down as much as that fence slowed him down. I don't think he ever touched the brakes. There's pieces and shards of his bumper everywhere here. My 9 Mile Farm sign somehow survived. It was up on the fence over there. We had toggle bolted it to the fence with a cleat. A little damage on the back side, but my farm sign survived. But this is, I mean, there's that bent to hell. And I got to give the fire department guys props, man. They got out their cutters they used to cut people out of cars, and they cut the fence away for me. I'll kind of go back around and show you that. Let me go through my gate. You know, all you can do is laugh in a situation like this because at least no one was seriously hurt. Insurance could take care of the problem, but all of this chain link here was actually completely wrapped up and was still attached here. And there would have been no way to get out of the gate with a vehicle because I'm not driving through that just because he did. And they got their bolt cutters out and they cut this piece of chain link off for me. And there were several of these big poles that were low across here and just, I mean, just a mess. And I mean, I could have got myself out eventually, but they took those cutters and went through this stuff like butter. And here's one here. That's a cut they made. And that's a cut they made. They cut the other ends off and pulled everything out of the way for me. So, you know, they did the best they could. But I'm going to say, just standing here, where that damage starts down there, if I was shooting my bow, I'd be using my 30-yard pin. So call it 90 feet. And there's another 15 yards, so another 45 feet. So what, 135 feet, 140 feet. This guy plowed through. And if you look at that car coming at me right now, that's how he came down. He was supposed to be in that lane. So somewhere there, he just veered. And that's why I figure he must have been asleep. And I'm just glad a couple things. Number one, I didn't, you know, middle of the night dogs want to go out and just had the dogs out because they would have went nuts on this. And that I stayed up late last night. I have a feeling the police officers and paramedics and all would have came and got the vehicle out and left and never even knocked on our door. So at least I got a police report number and talked to the officer and knew when I woke up this morning the dogs need to be walked over to the other field and watched instead of just let out. But, you know, we talk about on the podcast the shit hitting the fan. Man, there you go. It hit last night, and the only thing stopped it was that tree. I believe if that tree wasn't there, that he would have went plumb through there. Unless he would have made enough of a turn to hit that other tree back there, he probably would have ended up going through my far fence, through the neighbor's gate. And honestly, with what they've got down there for a gate, he probably would have ended up dead because he would have ended up with pipes through his window. And they say things come in threes. I hope twos is enough because yesterday evening I dropped my granddaughter off and saw a pretty bad wreck, and guy got out of the back of the car after we got over to him and immediately basically collapsed on the ground. His head was really swollen, and that dude, he's in bad shape, a lot worse shape than my fence, you know. And so that, you know, last night when I came out here, my first thought was, do I have everybody? Is there somebody in a vehicle that I don't know about? There were two ladies and the guy, and the ladies apparently had just stopped to make a phone call and render aid. When I called 911, the lady's like, oh, we know where you are, don't worry, we're already on our way. And it was within seconds that they were here. Anyway, guys, I got to figure out what to do. Dorothy's going to be on the phone with fence companies as soon as possible. We can't wait on the insurance money. We'll get it done, and then we'll deal with the insurance companies. Depending on how long it takes, I don't know, maybe I'll get one of those construction type fences where they come out, you rent it, and they put it up temporarily until they can get it in here. Something like that, because I got to do something. Trying to run this place without a front fence, not fun. Yeah, and by the way, for those that are new to my channel, putting stuff in the ground out here, it's not easy. It usually involves a jackhammer because we only got about that much dirt in this area, and then it's bedrock. Catch you later.